I just love apples. This is one of our apples, Jonah Gold, from last summer, and they're still in the cellar and keeping so well. It's just amazing. So today we're going to bake an apple pie, and it's an apple pie without flour and sugar, because that's really good when we're healing our gut. And I think it's the most delicious cake I've ever tasted. And it's very simple. So yeah, let's go ahead and bake an grain and sugar-free apple pie. So we're going to use 350 grams of apple, and it's about 4 apples, medium size. Got these from the cellar. And it's January, but when you keep the apples in a really cool place, they just keep so well. So they're from our apple trees, and this is really a summer apple, but they're just keeping really well. So we don't need so many. Have a bowl. And I don't actually peel the apples. So this is really a recipe that my daughter has made. She made it for my birthday, and it would just turn out so well. I'm going to have 150 grams of butter, and I love butter, so I'm going to take 200 grams. I like fat. I really love fat. This is beautiful organic Danish butter. I don't make butter at the moment. And they have this measuring thing on here usually, so you can see that each line is 25. This is 250 grams, so it's that much. Butter. Butter is healthy, good for you. We're going to melt that while we're doing these apples. So what we're going to do, instead of layer, you put them in layers, the apple and the actual cake. So I'm just going to put some butter on this, and this is not the best really, because it's made of iron. I don't think it's really healthy to use these things. Just get it better in the picture. There you go. So about 2 apples we're going to have on the bottom here. Yeah, it's better to use stoneware really. So you just go like this, very simple. I love, as you know, I love simplicity. I think we'll take 5 apples actually, because yeah, it's about 5 apples. And you can make thin slices also. Maybe they'll cook quicker. And you can make it really neat if you like. That was one. So lovely to feel the sun. I've had these really strong easterly winds, really cold. It's lovely. But it's just calm today and sunny. Whoops. Oh, I might just stick to the 4 apples. It depends on how big they are. Or, yeah, I think that's fine. The lovely butter melting here. So lovely, not too hot. I've just actually turned it off. Just be gentle with it. So now we're going to make the flour, or the actual dough. And we're going to use almonds and coconut. And we're going to use this little machine to actually make the flour. So we're going to have, got my super modern weight here. I'm going to have 70 grams of almonds. And I could put it onto, I'll just put it onto here. That's fine. That was a bit too much. So it's actually not very much. It's really just 2 small handfuls. Put it into the machine, and then it gets noisy, of course. I won't put too many in because they are a little bit hard for the machine to work with. Could also do this in a food processor, but there's still little bits of almonds in there, but it doesn't really matter, I think. A little bit less this time. Really should turn it off when you stick your fingers in there. I'm taking the risk. I think this was quite cheap, this one, it's not so sharp. And now we want We want 100 grams of coconut. There's quite a lot of coconut in there. Oops, there we are. And I'll do the same with this. So that's really our flour, and it's also our sugar, because almonds and coconut are actually very sweet. lovely? You can probably make it finer. And of course, when you put less in there, it's a little bit easier for the machine to work. I'll just do the rest. Okay, so we've done all the flour, and I think I said that you could have done this in a food processor. I think they can make the flour too. So, but sometimes it does actually, these little machines do make it finer, and you want it as fine as you can get it. So we're going to have, instead of sugar, we're going to have dates. Five of these beautiful big soft dates. Oops, probably don't even need that many because it's so sweet, all of it anyway. And I think I'll just no, I won't do that. The butter's very hot, so we won't cook the eggs. We're going to do this because I want the dates really well mashed out. I'm going to use one of these, and that's also, you could have just used the food processor, put it all in the food processor, but we'll use this. Probably pour in the butter just slowly, this hot butter. It's very hot. Yeah, I won't do all of that because is a bit too risky, I think. So one of those scrapers. I'm going to use my finger. These machines are also very, very smart for when you're making these special foods. They're really great. So here we go. Get it all into this. Into here. Pour the date mixture in. You could also use less dates and some honey, but I don't like to heat honey. I'm going to have a teaspoon of baking soda. I've got the oven on, and it's on 180 degrees Celsius. Pour in this batter. just slowly, because whoops, it's so hot, so I don't want to cook anything. And the last thing we're going to have is a little bit of this, which is just vanilla sugar. It's just ordinary vanilla sugar. And I use it very little bit, not that much, not more. Could also put some cinnamon in there, but I think this was so delicious. So this is going to go on top of this. Spread it out. As well as you can. You need all these different tools here. Maybe go like that. And you can just feel it when you're not eating, or I can feel it with my very damaged gut. When I eat something like this, it feels so good in the stomach. And when I eat ordinary cake, old-fashioned cakes and those things, it's just does not feel very good. Because this doesn't feed the bad bacteria, it actually feeds the good bacteria. And it is strange, after we've been used to eating bread and flour for so many years, we think, how can that be so damaging? But it is. And it's many reasons. But really, all grains, if we are to eat them, should be eaten fermented. That's what man has been doing always, nearly always, soaked the grains and fermented them. And then they don't have all these very damaging, very hard to digest components in them. Oh, it's looking good. It's quite a firm dough, as you can see. It's gonna be good, I think. Now we're going to do the last apple. Get this last bit in if I can. And I'll do them a little bit more like as slices, I think. That's going to look nicer. Like that. I just love apples. They're the best. It's just the best fruit. It's so good for you. And you can make all this beautiful apple cider vinegar, which is so good for you. And you can do so much with apples. I mean, you can have them raw, you can have them cooked, you can have them with meat even. An old Danish recipe is with pork, type of bacon and apples. It's called æbleflæsk. Flæsk is the old word of pig, pork. It's really the word flesh. And æble is apple. Æbleflæsk. It tastes so good. So it's cooked apples with fried pork. Very yummy. And really, when you stop eating sugar, things taste so sweet. There's so much sugar in just ordinary food, really. It's just fascinating how when you change your ways, everything changes. And I mean, eating real, I just love this, eating real natural foods. You just feel so blessed. I feel so blessed to be able to have, I mean, some people can't get hold of real food. They're eating this packaged stuff that just has nothing to do with food. And you can see it on them. They're not healthy. They're not happy either. Look at this. So beautiful. Praise you, Lord, for your gifts. You are the best. God is the best. Well done, Katrina. Well done. Okay, into the oven it goes, and I'll see you in about 50 minutes. And just watch it, because when you're cooking nuts, they burn easier than flour. So in the oven it goes. Okay, so the cake had about 3/4 of an hour, and I can see I put it a little bit too close to the back of the oven, so it got a bit burnt. And I think actually 180 is too much. I think 160 would probably be enough. So let's just try and cut through it. It's nearly just came out of the oven. So we're going to have it with some of my homemade clabber, which is, or homemade, it's sort of thick, it's like Greek yogurt. See, there you go. They're beautiful. Maybe I have some here. I just put it through this sieve here. Raw, thick yogurt. So there we go. See you, my friend.